Welcome to our little podcast, Hollywood Cats, a podcat about cat stories, cat care tips, and just a fun time to chat about cats. Hollywood Cats is hosted by Holly Meowie, president of the LA Cat Club, a not-for-profit cat rescue. Hollywood Cats is also hosted by Mark Rawlings, fellow cat lover and cat daddy, keeping the dream alive, talking about cats. And now, from the Sunset Strip in Hollywood, here are Holly and Mark, your Hollywood Cats.
Welcome to the Hollywood Cats podcast. We are back in our podcat seats. Well, I guess Holly's in a seat. She's in her own quarantine place across town, and I'm in the Hollywood Cats World Studios. Hi, Holly. How you doing?
I'm cat-tastic, actually. I'm doing great.
Sometime soon we'll be back in the same room. I have faith in the future. Yes?
Yeah, soon. We thought it was going to be this weekend, but the quarantine's lasting longer, so, you know.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Well, more time to spend at home with the cats, right? That's the good thing.
Right. They're actually, it's funny. I posted something that dogs actually think it's like you quit your job for them. This is a joke I posted over the weekend.
Okay.
You quit your job for them, and they're all happy. But cats actually think that you got fired and you're a loser because you've been home so long.
That's really funny. That's really funny, actually. Like, you got to get another job?
Yeah.
Can I help you on the computer with that? That's good
right.
stuff. That's good stuff. Well,
your cats are like pressuring you to put out your resume. They're over it. They don't like you home so much.
Yeah, I've seen this one in particular at my computer a lot. Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got to move into a little bit of a sad note. A very accomplished, very funny guy, Fred Willard, passed away over the weekend, and known as he's known from being in Best in Show, the dog movie, where he acts kind of clueless. But apparently I've learned that he's very much a pet advocate, and you have firsthand experience with that, Holly.
Yeah, Fred is really sweet. I actually met him at the Cat Extravaganza play that he was in. It was a couple of years ago. He was in a play about cats.
Oh, really? That's cool.
To help raise money to help homeless kitties on the streets and stuff. And he was a really sweet guy. And he's been in shows like Everybody Loves Raymond, Modern Family. His acting list is very good. Like, he's got a lot of shows under his belt. Mm-hmm. But how old was he? 80-something? He's 80.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he was in his late 80s, and he, you're right. He was the commentator for the Best in Show, which is a dog thing. But
yeah, he was so funny in that, though.
I personally have seen him at many cat events. He was a frequenter of cat events. He even adopted a stray off the street that he had for a while. And what's interesting that I learned while, just kind of learning about him and his life was there was this man who body transformed himself into a cat. Like, he tattooed his face like a cat. He embedded whiskers in his cheeks.
This is real?
Yeah, a real guy, a real person.
Okay.
He did body modification, and he did procedures where he had piercings, and he had piercings with whiskers coming out, and he made himself completely into a cat. And Fred Willard thought he was really interesting and did a lot of comments, like funny kind of YouTube videos about this man who was called the Cat Man.
Okay.
And he committed suicide too. Well, not Fred Willard didn't, but this cat man
is also gone.
Did.
Wow.
Yeah, he went through all these body changes and all this stuff, and then down the line he committed suicide.
Yeah, well, and Fred Willard was intrigued by this guy, where most of us would be.
He was very intrigued by him. Yeah.
We'd be like, ooh. That's
the
a good actor.
Have you ever seen The Lion Lady?
Yes, I have seen her.
It was kind of a similar look to that. Like, the guy transformed himself into like a female tabby cat.
Right.
And he looked kind of like the Lion Lady. Yeah, I mean, I love cat. We both do, and I just could never imagine wanting to take my face and tattoo a cat's face on my face. I guess I'm just not that big of a fan.
I think you're a pretty big fan, but let a cat be a cat, and we'll just be people. How about that?
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, you almost have to wonder about people like that. Do they have like some psychological problems?
I would say so.
Sort of.
There's a little something loose.
You know what I
That's
mean?
a guess.
Then they commit suicide after they go through that, but they obviously don't have it all upstairs.
I would go with that. I would say they're a little nuts if you want to become a cat and install whiskers on your face. That would be a dead giveaway.
I mean,
Doctor.
I love wearing cat ears, but those are removable.
I've seen you put them on and take them off.
I put them on and I take them off.
Wow. Living the life.
And I like to wear cat eyeliner, but that's removable.
That's true.
So it's kind of interesting that. But he was a very, he really followed this guy, this Fred Willard did.
Never heard of him.
And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube about him and this cat man, if anybody wants to look that up.
That's interesting. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that sometime. Anyway, rest in peace, Fred Willard. A very funny actor, made me laugh a bunch of times, and he loved animals, so that's always a sad thing as well, right?
Yeah, he was big into PETA, and he was big into different little organizations around Los Angeles, and he gave money and helped support charities and did plays and did things to help little homeless kitties out. So he was a good standing dude in my book. So yeah, rest in peace.
Sounds good. Rest in peace. And I understand you want to talk about teaching a cat to play fetch. That's an interesting topic. How'd you come up with that?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I have a bunch of cats,
right? And
I've taught 3 of them how to play fetch. They don't all do it. So it takes a certain type of personality. And, fetching isn't just for dogs. You can pretty much teach any cat a trick that you would teach a dog.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah. And so if you have a kitty, you have to have a certain type of kitty. Now, if you've got a kitty that is 20 pounds overweight and doesn't move very much and just kind of tired all the time, or like a kitty
people.
like that, teaching that kind of cat to fetch is kind of impossible.
Okay, so rule number 1 is the fat cat is not going to learn easily. So you prefer a lean one with a lot of personality. Let me guess.
Right, you need a kitty that's young.
Okay, well,
or
makes sense.
It's best to start them off when they're before a year.
Right.
Before a year old. It's still possible after a year. I mean, Angelico, my albino, I didn't realize that he had an interest in fetching until after he was a year old.
And how do you discover that?
Well, so one day, now he was super easy to do because one day I threw I had taken my hair out after work, and I threw my scrunchie across the room.
Were your cat ears attached
and got
to that?
And brought it back to me.
Okay, I thought you threw your cat ears.
No, I didn't. No, my cat ears. He brought my cat ears.
And then suddenly thought it was another cat.
That would have been great.
And the rest is history.
It was just a scrunchie.
Okay.
Scrunchies are back in, guys. Scrunchies are back in.
Note to self. Gotcha.
But I was like, whoa, this is crazy. He's a very inquisitive, very active. He's very thin. He's half Oriental, half domestic albino kitty, and he's super active. If you have a Bengal or super active, thin, inquisitive, curious kitty, most likely they will naturally fetch.
Because they're going to be intrigued by something jumping around, or same kind of animal, like when they think there's a snack, they come flying in there, from a dead sleep, that kind of creature.
Right, right, correct. And I've also, since I've had a couple kitties now, my kitty baby Jesus, he is a tabby, and he's more on the lazy side. So he used to fetch with me when he was young, but now that he's older, he's 8 years old, he doesn't want to do it anymore. He will only bathtub fetch. So I can throw something in the bathtub and he'll go get it in the bathtub and bring it back, but he won't regular fetch, like in the rest of the house.
Now, is the bathtub a part of this process? Well, is that a way to train, or is that just a type of cat, a bathtub fetch?
Love the bathtub.
Oh,
They
really? Yes.
without water.
Oh, yeah.
Because
That goes without
it's
saying.
kind of like a sink for them to slip and slide and have a great time.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you throw something in the bathtub, they will retrieve it as if it's something with the bathtub. I don't know. This is just something I've learned over my long 9 lives of
something
cat
about
training.
the bathtub. Okay, the cats loves bathtub. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So baby Jesus stopped fetching, but he did fetch for a long time. And I noticed recently because I have one blind kitty for adoption and her sister has to go with her. And I'm like, okay, I've got to add some, points to these cats because it's been taking me so long to get them adopted. And one of my points is they get along with dogs.
Okay.
Love that.
Uh-huh.
Another thing is I taught Barbara how to fetch, and she fetches.
Oh, so
So
you
that's
advertise
something else
that.
I can put in her resume on why people should adopt her. And this is how I did it for people that, are training their cats to fetch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically you need a few things. You need treats.
Okay.
Which you have. Mark, I'm expecting one of your cats to learn how to fetch after
Damn,
this episode.
scratching down notes as you speak.
You've got time on your hands now.
I was going to say.
You better
yes.
get a kitty fetching.
You took the words right out of my mouth. We have a lot of time on our hands right now. We have a cat. Teach them to play fetch. And here we go.
Right.
So
exactly.
there's a couple rules to this.
Perfect for the time we're living in right now. Everybody should be trying these tricks.
Okay,
In
step
fact,
one.
I'm probably going to make a YouTube tutorial because of this whole situation.
As you should. So how many? So there's
As
multiple
I should.
steps, right? And we're going to do step one now. What is step one?
Yeah. So step one is to get the treats, get a clicker. Now you can buy those on Amazon or anything, or anyway. I think they have them at Petco also.
And a clicker does what?
And the clicker gets your cat to focus on the toy. So you got to get a target. So a toy target.
Okay.
Whether it be a scrunchie, whether it be a ball, whether it be, a scrunch. I like the scrunchie because it kind of reminds a kitty of a dead wobbly rat or something that died, that they're holding in their mouth.
Right.
I feel that a scrunchie kind of
is the closest
makes
thing
them think they
human
caught
earth.
something, like
a scrunchie from
prey.
the wild. Yeah, okay. Yes.
Yeah, so you grab and something with texture too, or is good also, like those toys that have like little crunchy textures inside. Those are really good. If you've got any of that stuff around the house, even a mouse, even a fake mouse with a tail works. And you got to get them super focused on it. And when you get them super focused on it, you grab some treats in the clicker and you hold the toy in front of their face.
Mm-hmm.
And when the cat sniffs the toy, you click the clicker and you give the cat a treat.
Okay.
And you repeat this, and you keep Well, you only feed them so many treats. Don't go overboard. Just everyday practice. So you every time the cat goes to the toy, you click the clicker and you give the treat. Okay?
Gotcha.
Now, when you've done that a bunch of times, you move to step 2, where you want your cat to open its mouth and taste the toy. Maybe at this time you could even use a catnip toy, so it opens its mouth to want to bite into the toy that you're trying to throw. You're not throwing yet. Don't get ahead of yourself. And once your cat opens its mouth and licks the toy, then you click and then you give a treat. Okay. Then you move on to step 3, and what you do then is you make sure that your kitty knows back and forwards the step 2 and 1 with just looking and smelling, and then actually open its mouth and tasting the toy, and then you're ready to move forward. You got to do that.
So number 3.
Then for number 3, just make sure you got that down. Don't continue on to step number 4 unless you've got number 2 and number down, and that's actually step number 3 is to do that.
Okay.
So step number 4 is what you do is you get your kitty to grab the toy on the ground. So you place the toy on the ground, and when your kitty touches it with its nose or its mouth, open or closed, you click and give the treat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's moving from your hand to the ground is step 4. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then step 5 is to actually get your kitty to pick up the toy with the mouth. So you've got to roll the toy around on the floor, get your kitty to be interested in it, and pick it up with its mouth. And then once it does that, you click and you give a treat. So it knows that it gets the toy if it picks it up with its mouth. If it just smells it, you still haven't gone past step 3 if you haven't gotten it to pick it up with its mouth yet.
Okay, and so all these stages have the clicker, have the treat up to this point.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly. So the final step for everything is to place the toy further away from you. You could do it behind your back. You could do it in the distance, and get your kitty to find the toy and not get the treat or anything. You got to make sure the kitty picks it up in its mouth first and kind of inches towards you and brings it towards you. Then it gets the click, and then it gets the treat. So that's the final step. And if you follow the other steps prior, where the 4th step being the kitty the 5th step being the kitty picks it up in its mouth for 10 seconds, and then you click and give the treat, it'll know that it has to do each step before it gets a click, hearing-wise, and a treat.
Sure.
Because cats are all about hearing and
The
smelling,
treat, the reward,
and tasting.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are all the tricks. I really want you to try this and report back to me and see how it works for you.
By the next podcast, I'll have 4 cats that are fetching left, right, and all the way around the house. Okay, how about that?
I mean, I definitely think Mitz would be able to do this.
Mitz is my cat that has 7 or 8 toes. He has a lot, so he'd be good at fetching. He'd be good at volleyball too, or badminton, all those things.
Badminton.
He'd be good at all those things.
I really think that Mitz would be able to definitely do it. Moo Moo, not sure.
Okay. Well, as soon as I hang my headphones up, I'm grabbing the cat and the treats and the clicker, and we're gonna make this happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So go to the store, get your clicker, get your treats. Cats really relate to treats, especially they love those. What do you feed your kitties? They're the Temptations.
Right. Yeah, they like those. That's good stuff.
They really like those. It's like candy. It's terrible for them, but they love it. Just like us. We love ice cream. It's terrible for us, but we love it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, there we go. There's more pandemic fun that we can have during these times where we're stuck in the house and have funs with our cats, which is a good thing. We love that. And thank you, Holly. I appreciate that. Why don't you tell people where they can find out a little more about what you got going on, where you can be found, animals you have available, all those things.
Well, I'm on YouTube as Holly M.
Holly
That's
M.
M like Meowie. And I'm going to be putting up a video to try to help people in regards to this topic. And
Cool.
I also have a nail clipping video on there that you could,
nice.
because
Okay.
I'm sure, because groomers are closed right now still. So a lot of people need help with that. You can also visit me at LA Cat Club. LA Cat Club on Twitter, LA Cat Club on Instagram, LA Cat Club on Facebook, and the LACatClub.org to see what kitties I have for adoption and what else is going on. There will not be a cat con this year, I don't believe.
Yeah.
So that's normally I start posting about that at this time, but looks like it's not happening. So
Okay. Well, soon we'll be together again, but it's been fun. We've been able to continue our podcast by remote control. Thank you very much, Holly Meowie, and thank everybody for listening. Catch us next time on the Hollywood Cats podcast.
From Hollywood, you've been listening to Hollywood Cats, stories and facts about cats. Be sure to join us next time for more with Holly and Mark. And don't forget our website, HollywoodCats.com. That's Hollywood and cats ending in Z. HollywoodCats.com. And thanks for joining us on Hollywood Cats.